This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my video looking at the 5 adaptations of Revenge of the Sith and ranking them by accuracy. This is not based on quality at all, but just how accurately they portray the events of Revenge of the Sith. Some of these are honestly a lot better in terms of quality than others, and if you want to see me rank them by how I rank them by quality, this video would need to get at least 100 views. And if you want to see individual reviews for the Revenge of the Sith novelization and game, then this has to reach at least 500 views within a reasonable amount of time that I won't forget about this deal. So, with that set down, let's go and take a look at how I would rank. And this is roughly in release order: Revenge of the Sith novel, Revenge of the Sith game, Lego Star Wars / Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, Lego Star Wars Droid Tales, and Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Starting at number 5, I, to my great displeasure, have to give this to the Revenge of the Sith game. As I said, this is not a marker of quality because this is honestly just an incredible and really fun game. I don't have any footage from it because I played this on my Xbox 360, which I am not able to stream. I bought it for the original Xbox a few weeks ago, and I can't stream from my 360, so I don't want to be taking footage from other people. But this game is honestly, for the weirdest part, even though it uses actual footage from the movie, very inaccurate due to the fact that it's only focused on the action set pieces. The story of this goes from the beginning of the movie with the rescue on Invisible Hand, and since it doesn't have space combat built into the game, it goes straight into the landing on it. It then goes through that entire section pretty accurately, also including a few deleted scenes, and then it immediately skips from that to Utapau. It skips over a good amount of the movie, including Anakin learning about Padme being pregnant, Palpatine's beginning of his manipulations, Anakin's nightmares, more stuff like Anakin being denied the rank of master to push him towards the dark side, stuff like the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, and really everything else that happens between Obi-Wan landing on Utapau and them crashing the Invisible Hand onto Coruscant. It then skips to Mace Windu going to kill Palpatine and Anakin trying to prevent that. And with this, all you see is nothing to set it up where Anakin has his moral choice to save Padme or to let Mace Windu kill Palpatine. It just looks like Anakin's trying to stop an assassination, and it's more or less morally justified. And then it just sort of 180s into Darth Vader, where you get to play through Order 66. Obviously, not killing younglings because that's way too dark for a video game. And then it skips back to Obi-Wan escaping Utapau, then Anakin executing the Separatist Council, then Obi-Wan and Yoda discovering who Vader is, and everything that happened. And then it skips over Palpatine and Yoda's fight, and goes straight to Anakin versus Obi-Wan, with an alternate ending where Anakin wins. But with this, besides Padme literally appearing in, like, the background, knocked out already, of the scene of Anakin versus Obi-Wan, Padme isn't even mentioned, her pregnancy isn't mentioned, and just out of nowhere, Luke Skywalker shows up being born. So, while this is an incredibly fun game, just in terms of accuracy, this is the worst one in terms of accuracy because it just misses so much of the movie. And if this is the first time that you would have experienced the story of Revenge of the Sith, you would have been extraordinarily confused. And while you just played a good game, you would have thought that this story was terrible because of just how much of it is missing. Up next is something that, although it skims over some stuff, at least does mention it happens, which is Lego Star Wars Droid Tales. Honestly, this was something I wasn't sure if I was going to make it onto the list, but I just decided to watch it while I was building Helm's Deep this week, and it is fairly accurate. It skims over a lot of the movie because they only have roughly 10 to 15-ish minutes to adapt the story. So obviously it's like a 2.5 hour movie cut down to 15 minutes. So there's just a lot they have to cut down. And it's supposed to be kid friendly, so there's a lot more they have to cut out. But generally it's just, Anakin just figuring out kind of out of nowhere that Palpatine's the Sith Lord, Mace Windu overhearing him and going to stop him. And then Anakin saving Palpatine and becoming Darth Vader. There's also just a complete skipping over of Order 66, and where they just and the formation of the Empire, where C-3PO narrating it says it's just better that we don't talk about it because of how terrible the events were. And that's TV show talk for that movie's rated PG-13. This is like PG, so we can't talk about the genocide that was committed in this movie. And then there's a few things where it's just things just slightly little where they can't exactly kill characters or see someone like burning. So Anakin just falls directly into the lava and is put into the Vader suit after. And it at least mentions that Padme is pregnant and then has the twins sent off. So yeah, it's a lot more accurate, but there's still a lot of stuff that's skimmed over. But in terms of just accuracy, this is miles better than the Revenge of the Sith game. Now, quality, it's still fun quality, but if we get this to 100 views, you'll see how I rank this compared to the other ones. Our next one easily has to be Lego Star Wars slash Complete Saga, and I'm saying that because it's the exact same game. Complete Saga is Lego Star Wars and Lego Star Wars 2 combined together with just a little bit of performance fixes and the reworking of two near impossible to complete levels from Lego Star Wars 1. But now looking at this, honestly, this one is just a lot of fun to play. It is pretty accurate, although it does have to cut down on a few scenes. It doesn't really have Palpatine's arrest or too much of Anakin's transformation to Vader, since it's completely through mumble mode and isn't relying too much on the longer cutscenes. It can't express everything fully, but it still does a really great job. There is just, a little bit missing. It isn't completely perfect, but it's a lot more complete than everything else we've talked about so far, and easily takes its spot right here. At number two is the one where I obviously think it has to be here because number one is just way more accurate than this, but this is another fun one being the Skywalker Saga. And even if you do put this on mumble mode, this has a lot more cutscenes, a lot more scenes to help adapt everything that's going on, and it helps tell the story of Revenge of the Sith just a little bit better. So it's able to really have everything in it. It has 5 levels dedicated to it, plus a bunch of scenes, It obviously has cut down some of the darker moments since it is still supposed to be very family friendly, but still, it's ultimately a really good job at it. And the fact that it does have an option to, have voice lines in it, which is the default, it just helps it even more, and that ultimately just makes this the near perfect adaptation of it. But our last one isn't just near perfect, it exceeds expectations and tells the story even better than the movie does. At number one, we have the Revenge of the Sith novelization. And as I said, this is nearly better in every way, minus the fact that we don't have the truly amazing moments of Obi-Wan saying hello there and it's over, Anakin, I have the high ground. Besides that, this is an incredible adaptation of Revenge of the Sith. And I do know there is a junior novelization of this also, but didn't feel like tracking down a copy of that for this. And since it was just going to be more similar to the other ones I've talked about, where it's a little more kid friendly, I ultimately decided I didn't need to. But looking at this one, honestly, this is just completely insane how much detail it goes into. It helps go into the psychology of Anakin and his fall, Palpatine's manipulations, the Jedi, and them regrettably having to go and try and take down Palpatine, knowing there's something up with him. And everything in this is just completely perfect. It tells the story of Revenge of the Sith in just such an amazing way. It is just so much fun. It's so crazy. And it is honestly just one of those books where I feel like you need to read it because it just takes an incredible story already and makes it even better by being able to break down things more and get into our character's headspace. So yeah, honestly, it's really great. There's also just some really incredible scenes. The opening narration is honestly incredible, and it's just really great. This is definitely gonna be tossed into my annual listening to all of Legends novels that are on Audible because this is just really great. It takes an already, as I said, amazing story and manages to nearly perfect it, minus two of its most iconic lines not making it into that. But everything is just expanded on more. It is put into so much more depth and truly is the best of these adaptations. But I want to know what you think. How many of these have you seen? And what do you think of them? Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.